Welcome to Greggles TV Daily. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We've got an amazing treat for you, all about the Google Pixel Fold 2 or Pixel Fold 9 Pro, whatever you want to call it. Most likely it'll be called the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And this is what it basically is going to look like. We see it compared to a Fold 5. We see it compared to a OnePlus Open. We see it compared to the regular Pixel Fold. It is a magnificent looking folding phone, and if this does not make you want to switch to this phone over all the other foldable phones that are out and coming out, I don't know what will, because this looks absolutely crazy amazing, and we just have to check this out. So let's look at it. So our first photo shows it against the Fold 1. Now again, it's probably called the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, but they're gonna call it Fold 2 in these images, so just keep in mind of that. So you can see this is I believe the Fold 1 was a 7.6 inch display and the Fold 2 is a 8.03 inch display. So it's a little bit larger and it's taller. It's probably just as wide. Obviously the bezel is a little bit less. It still does have a bezel. It looks like the camera sits on top of the display on the top right on here, and it just looks crazy great. I mean, the display is huge, guys. Huge, huge, huge. And I think that's exciting for this folding game overall. Here it is next to the Fold 5, and the Fold 5, I love the inside display of the Fold 5. Pixel Fold 2 is ginormous next to it. You could fit it, plus again, another 0.4 inches in there, 0.42 inches in there of display. It's massive. It's enough to make this multitasking look, it's gonna be great. It's not gonna feel thin at all when you do multitasking on here. And I think that's gonna be a smart thing overall with this. It's gonna be, multitasking is huge on any folding phone, but the Pixel Fold 2 is gonna look great with multitasking. Now, OnePlus Open is really in a lot of circles, especially mine. It's really one of the most perfect sized phones on the outside and inside displays, and it looks like Pixel Fold 2 is basically doing that. You can see there is a little bit more bezel on the Pixel Fold 2 on the outside display, especially in the top left-hand corner along the left-hand edge and the bottom left-hand corner. And I know people are gonna call it out on it, but when you look at it, that looks like a traditional phone kind of would. Obviously, the traditional phone would have equal bezel parts or close to it if it didn't, and this doesn't. But I think that's gonna be the major not downfall, but the major negative when people are talking about this phone is like, oh, I can see some bezel on the left-hand side. But otherwise, it looks most like, just the display itself looks really much like a OnePlus Open, and that has a awesome outside display. Here is the Pixel Fold 2 next to each other, the inside and the outside displays. And when you look at this, the design language is pretty similar with each other. The outside bezel being silver and then black on the inside, I mean, it'll probably be, depending upon what color phone you get, it'll probably be black in some instances on the outside and then potentially silver on the outside on other instances. But again, that's what it looks like on the front there. The next photo just shows you the display again, 8.02 inches coming from 7.6 inches. After that, we have like a side view kind of thing. You can see the camera bump sticking out, which it sticks out a fair amount on the Pixel Fold as well. And it looks like it's gonna do that again on the Pixel Fold 2. But otherwise, it looks pretty thin as a phone. Here's another angle with the camera sticking out. You can see the bezel, I mean, the camera does stick out. I mean, it's gonna be one of those things. I don't imagine a lot of people are gonna have this phone as it's hanging out in terms of without a case. You're gonna have a case on it, so once you have a case on it, it's gonna be equal sized on the back. It shouldn't rock really at all unless you are naked with the phone. Here's another angle. You can see the buttons on the side there going from 10.54 millimeters to from 12.1 millimeters overall on the side. Here's another view of the front, 6.29 inch display from 5.8 inch, so you're gonna get a bigger, taller display, and it won't be as wide, which I think a lot of people will probably appreciate. Here's the hinge view, and the hinge looks nice. I hope it opens at 180 degrees rather than 178 degrees. And again, you can really see how thick that camera is, but it doesn't bother me because I always put a case on and it's protected and all that. So again, not really a huge issue at all. Here's another side view. Looks great. Looks like an awesome looking phone, not squared off like the Fold 6, but rounded, and it is squared, I guess, on one end of there. But I just can't say enough about how looking at that phone, having a Tensor G4 processor, hopefully a good price, which I doubt it will be a under $1,500 or anything like that, but it has so much going for it. I think the only thing that's going to hold it back are, you know, people are going to be like, well, it doesn't have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 or Gen 4, and it has a Tensor G4, but the Tensor G2 still runs awesome on the Pixel Fold, and that's a pretty, it can do some gaming. You know, if you're a AAA gamer, it's not going to be able to do some of those things that you want, especially at the high levels. It can play AAA games, but you're going to be playing them at medium to high settings. But if you're trying to play them at everything at high or ultra high at 120 frames per second or 60 frames per second, that phone might not be able to do it, meaning the Pixel Fold 2, due to the fact that the processor is really great at day-to-day stuff. It's great at medium to high gaming. It might be a little bit better this year, obviously, but I know from the Tensor G2 to the G3, there wasn't a huge difference. So I'm hoping that the Tensor G4 will really bring it in and make it a very competitive phone power-wise with the rest of the market. So what do you guys think about it? Is this gonna make you wanna switch from a Galaxy phone or the OnePlus, or maybe you don't have a folding phone and you're like, I'm getting this one now. Let me know why. Have a great day. We'll see you down the road. Peace.